Hi everyone, I'm sorry this video is so late, but if you saw my previous video, Miku V3's anniversary video, then you may have noticed that it was in HD, and so is this one. Because, among other things, I was busy slapping together a new computer. And if you did watch that video and you're a casual Vocaloid fan, then despite all that I said about Miku being popular and a bestseller, you might be surprised to know that there are quite a few people who actually dislike Miku. Now, I'm not talking about people who aren't Vocaloid fans, or people who simply don't like the sound of her voice. I mean, there are passionate Vocaloid fans out there who genuinely hate Miku, and even pray for her downfall. These people are a small minority, but, as is often the case, a fairly vocal one. Clearly, I am not in that camp. But aside from the things that I can't test objectively, such as statements about Miku being overrated, I can agree with Anti-Miku people on one point. Miku is just too darned popular. She is the 1% of the Vocaloids because even the other Krypton Vocaloids trail far behind her in terms of marketing and merchandise. She's the sole de facto mascot for the franchise, despite having 5 accompanying characters from the same company, and despite other Vocaloids potentially having better voice banks. And that is the real linchpin of the Anti-Miku movement, if you can call it that Miku shouldn't be the mascot because they believe there are Vocaloids that sing so much better. This isn't a new concept. I'm sure some Meiko and Kaito fans were complaining about Miku's popularity back in September of 2007. So, leading up to every new high-profile female Japanese Vocaloid release, you get the same few people loudly expressing their sincere hope that this new Vocaloid will be so amazing that she dethrones Miku. You saw this with Vocaloids like Luca and Gumi, and for a long time Gumi was the most popular Vocaloid that wasn't from Krypton Future Media. During the Vocaloid 2 era, she had a richer and more realistic voice bank than Miku did, and she remains today one of the most popular Vocaloids, if not still the most popular non-Krypton Vocaloid, because of her great V3 Megpoid voice banks. You still see this happen with new releases such as Kakane, but if there was ever a Vocaloid that gave Anti-Miku-ites their brightest hope, it was Ia's release in January of 2012. Hearing Ia's voice for the first time is an experience. Her voice is hauntingly beautiful and is capable of being very realistic. Ia was the first V3 Vocaloid to achieve 1 million combined views of her songs on Nico Nico, a goal she reached in 6 months, and so she was the first V3 Vocaloid to elevate herself to the level of popularity of the older V2 Vocaloids. Ia has continued to be very popular, but First Place, the company that produced Ia, knew that as good as she was not perfect, and they didn't rest on their laurels. After Ia's release, First Place immediately began working on a new voice bank intended to correct the flaws users reported in her voice bank, such as her high notes not having the clarity of her mid-range notes, or her voice not having enough power for the songs they wanted her to sing. First Place spent 2 years working on a new voice bank dubbed Ia Alpha Type C, which was released for testing on Ia's second anniversary, January 27, 2014. In May, First Place was ready to officially announce the release date for Ia's new voice bank, and on June 27, 2014, Ia rocks. Well, Ia rocks every day, but Ia rocks is also the name of the voice bank, alluding to the design decisions First Place made for it. Ia rocks has a moderate change in tone from Ia's original voice bank, and is better suited to faster songs, with stronger consonants and more powerful notes with more clarity than her original voice bank, and yet it maintains the ability to produce the long, operatic-style vowels that Ia is famous for. Ia rocks does have a slightly smaller tempo range than her first voice bank, but it retains the same vocal range. Despite sounding similar to her original voice bank, Ia rocks doesn't use any voice data from Ia's first voice bank. It's comprised of completely new vocal recordings. Ia's character design was as well received as her voice bank was. It wasn't very flashy or complicated, but it was beautiful, and still unique enough to make her recognizable. In a video released to promote Ia Rocks, First Place showed off some alternate costume designs for Ia. One had a kind of cheerleader vibe, another had her wear black overalls and a hat, and the last is very punk. But the design first place settled on for Ia's box art is essentially the same as her original outfit, except that her overshirt is missing, and she has these wonderful, wonderful pink streaks in her hair. Unfortunately for me, her design is so similar to the original that no one draws her with the streaks in her hair, even when they're specifically representing Ia rocks. I guess it's not that surprising, people can't seem to agree on what color her hair is. Ia's hair is a very, very faint peach color, but you'll find people drawing her hair as blonde as Lily or as pink as Luca. Though it may not just be her appearance. In the weeks following her release, I noticed most people were basically treating Ia rocks as, well, Ia. There was a trend this year for Ia producers to pitch her voice very high, like as high as Ren, which I don't really think works for Ia's voice. But anyway, several of the new songs that came out shortly after Ia Rocks' release were likewise up-pitched. It seemed to me that producers saw Ia Rocks as more of an update to, or replacement for Ia, rather than an alternate voice bank. So, like with Miku V3, it's hard to keep a solid tally of how many new Ia songs are made with Ia Rocks, because people just call her Ia either way. Ia Rocks is available in 3 packages. You can purchase Ia Rocks on its own, which runs around $85, or you can buy both of her voice banks at once in a duo box set for around $125. There's also a duo box set that includes the Vocaloid 3 editor for $175. If you're a big Ia fan, or if you want to start collecting her albums, Ia's 3rd official album, EP07 Vision, has just released, and it includes Ia Rock songs. All 3 of her albums are available on the Japanese Amazon site, and I do believe they will ship internationally, although keep in mind that Amazon Japan doesn't necessarily ship all of their items overseas. CDs, games, and books seem to be fine though. If you like to import games, keep an eye out for Ia's upcoming PS Vita game. Ia Visual Tracks Colorful was supposed to be released in July, but has been delayed to early 2015. As you'd expect, it's a rhythm game similar in concept to the Project Diva games, although Ia's game is being developed by Marvelous rather than Sega. It features Ia Rock songs as well, and it even has some costumes based on the designs I showed earlier.
音不規則な視界に動悸がした。ほどけない見えないと結び目を伝って火を灯した堂々と揺れる輪郭は花火ふらふらと浮かぶどこへ行くの。儚いほど儚いほど息としてるもの全てを照らす花ぼら空彩る花びら悲しいのに苦しいのに夜の狭間に満たされた夕日独特かつらと咲いたのは消えないで消えないでか細い日は人を映したみたいな怯えるように使うが大気をのむくらい綺麗な空でした。誇りをかぶったゼンマイに常温で水を注ぎましょう。素敵な花芽吹くかなハローハローハロー。どれだけ自分を愛せてもどれだけ他人を愛せても同じ天秤にかけるのはダメなのだろう。ヘッドホンをレンジでチンしてる彼の顔が見えないんだ。ぶつかって転んで膝をつりむいて君たちは僕を笑ったの笑ったの欲しがって奪ってそれでもこれだけで僕ら手の手を落とし合ったの。いつからこんなにも空っぽになったのだろう。傷さえ刻めない生きる速さでごまかして適当に笑って自分騙してみても夢を振りばかりやたらと増えてただ消えてくだけなのわかってる。君に会うため生まれてきたんだそれだけ言える僕はどこへ行ったんだ。誰と重ねてみたってほら何も見つからないだろう。誰か糸を指に絡めてく終わらない記憶薄れてく空君の声は良い闇に消えるだろう。信じた奇跡に誰も気づきはしない響き続けるメロディー。立ち止まる場所も見つからぬまま光のない世界で祈りに導かれ探した未来は君の胸の中に消えた。長い旅の果てたどり着く場所に僕は一人座ってる。割 葉が欲しいわけじゃない。僕だけにその声聞かせて、恋はいつでも安く今だけの現